Welcome to SalesATM tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to go through three aspects: the staff categories, and then staff access control group, and also staff setup and update. So this tutorial is all about staff or users of SalesATM. If I say staff, it means the company that uses sales ATM's staff is what we're going to see, because there should be an access control. There's a proper access control in sales ATM. So first, let's start with staff categories. To get to staff categories, you have to go to the top menu here and select setup and click on staff and then staff category setup. This involves adding new categories and updating existing ones. When SalesATM is set up, it comes with predefined staff categories. So all these ones that you see, these 15, already comes with SalesATM. You can update all of them and change its names. So for instance, if you want to update the office assistant, you just click on update and then you change the name and click on save. Then it will be saved. If you want to add a new category, you click on add. Let's go back there. You click on the add button here, and then you type in the new category name that you want to, and you click on save. When this is done, you will use this information when you are setting up staff or a user. Now let's move on to the next one, which is the staff access group. You may ask, why do we need staff access group? Before to go to staff access group, you click on setup, staff, and staff access group setup. There are two ways to set up a staff or a user. Either you set up that user or staff based on staff access group, and that's why we need the access group. The other one that you can set up the staff directly without any access group. So let's learn how to set up staff access group. When Sales ATM is set up for the first time, it comes with system admin access group. Automatically, it comes with that. So from there, you can update it, but let's see if you can have update of this information. You can only see details of it, what this system admin can do. You can see that it have back office admin privileges. It has the editing back office records, deleting back office records, viewing back office records, access to other staff records, access to other branch records, access to all back office pages, and access to sensitive and management information. So you can see that the admin have access to everything here. In the same way, if you want to add, it will ask you what access group you want to add. So let's begin with adding a new access group. You click on add new access group. Then you have to enter the group name. So let's say we want to add a front desk staff access group. So we type the name front desk staff access group. Then it will ask you of the privileges that you want to set up. So it asks you either non-admin or a branch admin or an admin. So you have this option. So maybe your company have branches, and if you set up as a branch admin, this person can only set up staff that belong to that particular branch. And if you set up a non-admin, he cannot do anything. You are going to restrict him to a lot of information. So let's begin by learning how to set a non-admin staff here. So you click a non-admin, then it's going to ask you what you can, the privileges that you want to offer. So we have staff can access sensitive and management records. If you want to do that, we say no. And then it asks you, staff can view records. You can say no. And staff can edit records. You say no. Staff can delete records. We say no. And staff can access other staff records. You say no. And then we can continue and say staff can access all back office pages. If you say no, then it will bring up the pages for you to select the pages that the staff can access. So you go through them and then pick the pages that you want him or her or this access group to have access to. So let's pick up any page as, for example, purposes. So we can say maybe purchases that the staff can access. So say here purchases, and then we click on save. So now we've seen that we have created access group called front desk staff. We can view details of this. So we can have a look at this. So access details. We can see that this person have no access to most of the information here. So this is how to set up staff access group. Let's take one example. We are not going to save it, but let's say the person is a branch admin. Let's see what the staff can do. So we continue with it. Asks you here. So we check it first and see what they can do here. So we click on add, and then we have branch admin. It gives you no information because he will have all the privileges pertaining to only one branch, and you click on save. So the same applies to when you pick on admin. To give it, the system will predefine fee accessibilities that this group can have. So this is how to set up staff access group. Now let's continue with the last aspect, staff setup. We go to setup, staff, and then staff setup. As I mentioned, there are two ways to set up staff or a user. Let's continue here. You click on add new staff. Then we will see what we can do. You enter the name of the staff or the person you want to create an account for. So let's say Yao Badu. And then we continue staff job title. These are the categories that we talked about. So let's say this person is just a staff. And you enter the person's phone number. And then you enter maximum percentage sales discount staff can offer when selling. This is very important. If you enter 0 and the person is not an admin, and if the person has access to the point of sales pages and trying to sell, this person will not be able to give any discount because he has 0% discount to offer. So this can be used to restrict staff that sells on the front counter or any of the POS pages not to give discount, or you can limit the person to a certain discount. So remember that if he is not an admin and you give 0, he will not be able to give discount. Now we continue with it. So staff set up by access control group. This is what I mentioned. So if we have created an access group, which is easy, or it makes it easy because you might be creating multiple staff or users and they all have the same access control levels. It's better to create access group so that you can cut down the time that you want to set up stuff. So we say yes. And then what is going to happen is we select that group, say front desk staff. And then if you have multiple branches, you can decide to assign this staff to the branches that you want. In this demo, we have only one branch, so we assign him to this branch. Then you create a username for the person. So we say Yao Bedu. Username that he will be using to log into SalesATM. Then we continue with the password that person wants to use. And then you confirm the password again. you need to give this password to the staff. Then after the staff log in for the first time, he can then change the password. Then the email. The email is important because this email will be used to retrieve passwords and username if the staff forget about it. So we say this is the email that we're going to use. Let's say yaobedu at yaobedu.com. You repeat the mail. Make sure you type it, but to save time, I want to copy it. And then you save it. You save this, and then the stuff will be created. If you're not going to use access control, it's going to take time. You need to go through a lot of steps. So we say no. Let's go through the steps. Then you have to select the privilege the person has. So it's the same as when you want to set up staff access group. So is it a non-admin person? Yes, it's a non-admin. Then you have to go through all this. Staff access, you say no. Let's say no. Can view records, can edit records, no. Or yes. Depends on the option you want to offer the person. No, I just want to use an example. And then here, no. Then you have this access control here. We say no. So when you do this, you save, you can go back to this information and save all of them here. And then you can create this information for the person. So in this tutorial, we've learned how to set up staff categories, staff access groups, and how to set up staff based on access group or non-access group. So this is how to give access control to any user in SalesATM. Thanks for watching.